If you're anything like me, the first thing you did when you tried out the Neural DSP Cory Wong plugin was learn some Cory Wong shit. Now, when I tried this out, he came out with this dope little snippet on Instagram that was just quintessential funky Cory Wong, and I had to learn it, and I want to show you exactly how to play this too. As I go over all the parts in this, I'm going to talk about the nuances to his approach that is going to take your playing from sounding just kind of average to next level. And if you're a Patreon member, be sure to follow along with the interactive tab in the link below. The first section of the song is all straight 16th note funky strumming. So we need our hand all caught up in those 16th note rhythm. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E. We want to keep that going throughout our strumming pattern and hit the rhythms whenever we need to. So we start off with the D9 chord, and if we look at that rhythm right there, we want to be able to see when the notes hit and whether we're on a downstroke or an upstroke. So as we play it, we know it's 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... And then the next part, we go all the way up an octave. So we still have a D9 chord, we're just kicked up an octave and we're at the 17th fret. And our rhythm is a little bit different, a little bit quicker. 1E and a 2E and a... And after that D9 chord, it's just to open up a little bit harmonically. So let's just look at these chords. We have A7 on the 5th fret. And then we'll think of this like a diminished chord, like a small diminished chord. Walking up chromatically to C sharp diminished. And then we go to our D major 7. Then we hit the C sharp 7 sus4. The pinky right there, we take our pinky away. Resolves to C sharp 7. Which pulls us into the F sharp minor 7. And right back to our D7 with a chromatic walk up. And it's important to see how this D7, that voicing right there, it just comes out of this big old D7 voicing, right? When we play it like this, so we only hear those 3 notes, and this voicing in particular, it really highlights that tritone, that tension in this chord. So that's a nice little thing to hear. So after we got those chords down, then we could just try and catch up with the pattern nice and slow. There's 2 things that I really like that he does in this first part here. One, he slides up the chords, and that just brings a lot of intensity. So it's like starting this D major 7 from all the way down here. Kind of does it a lot with that A chord. We just slide up just with the root note, hit that, and then bang the whole chord. Oh. Yeah, slide up with a D major 7. Slide up with that F minor 7. It's a cool vibe. It really just adds that intensity. And another great thing that he does, when we get to that C sharp 7 sus4, soft strum. Like both those strums, soft. You can kind of catch that stab on the top strings a little bit harder, but it just sounds so sweet, man. That dynamic playing that really just brings out a good feeling. So with all that intensity, he's banging it hard, he's going like that really comes out so nicely. It's beautiful. I love it. So now on to our next part. He loses the pick and we're just hitting the fingers. And we actually change keys. We go over to E major. And what you want to notice right away is the types of chords that he's using. He's playing these voicings that's only 1 and 3. The root notes on the E string, and the third is on the G. So we got our E chord, and most of it's pretty diatonic. It's really good to understand these chords and just the concept of how chords are built. Because every chord that we know, all those basic chords that are simply triads, your E chord, your A chord, your D, whatever, D minor, all those chords are built on only 3 notes, the 1, the 3, and the 5. And the only note that really tells us whether it's major or minor and really gives the chord the character is the 3. So the 5, we don't really need to know what type of chord it is, major or minor. So really the most basic chord that you can make is these 2 notes, the 1 and the 3. So it sounds nice and it keeps it very open and clean. For this first part, he gives it a little bit of bluesiness by hammering onto the G string to the 3rd. And then walking up chromatically from 2, 3, 4. Grabbing that 5th fret. We got our A. And here we go slightly out of tune. We roll up to the C chord, which borrows from the E minor scale. Right back to B major. And just some dope double stops right there. We'll look at these patterns. And then we repeat. And we go for a little ride with our chords. We'll think about this like a C diminished chord walking up to a C sharp minor chord. And then we're just going through it. It's G sharp minor to A. Now we get a little bit out of here. We're going to walk up chromatically on the bass note, and it's just going to have this nice flow. So after our A chord, this is a G sharp with the A sharp in the bass. That resolves to A with the B. So it's an F sharp chord, the 5 of B. Right? Okay, cool. And then we have G sharp with the 3rd in the bass. And that G sharp resolves to C sharp minor. So that's a little bit of 5, resolve, 5, resolve. And then we're going to get up to our F sharp from F in just a small chromatic move. So that whole harmonic run going up starts off diatonic with the G sharp minor and the A. And then we start using 5ths, F sharp, the 5th of B, and then G sharp, the 5th of C sharp, and then F just moving up to F sharp. F sharp 7, and then we slide up. And that little ditty right there is an F sharp also. So this is a classic blues moment that you've probably heard more like in a slow blues or something like that. You hear. Right? That's a type of 9 chord that we could play. So for F sharp, if I just bring it down to this octave, make it a little bit more clear, we have these 3 strings. And you can slide up and down a whole step. And that's where we hear that from, that kind of bluesiness. So he takes that, moves it up the octave, but then he just breaks it up a little bit. Hits the F sharp over here, because you want to look cool. Slide it up to C sharp, the 5th of the chord. Pull off from A, walking into our A with the B in the bass. Walk it down for a B altered, and we just bring it right back around again. And the second time around, when he does these little parts, he goes just a little bit lower this time. So instead of starting on the E and B string, he starts on the G and B. And just brings it down one set of strings, just to give it a little bit of change, right? And then we finish it off. And instead of going through that whole thing again after the G sharp to A, he simply does his A with the B in the bass to E. And then just that last little pentatonic run. And there you go. It's nice and pretty and beautiful. Take it slow. Ah, shit, let's take it slow right now. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to do the picking part first, all right? Now let's try the whole finger picking part nice and slow. And one thing we want to make sure of, when we're strumming, most of the time we're kind of popping it, we're hitting it kind of hard. We want that attitude, that attack and everything. But now with our fingers, we want to be nice and soft. Have fun getting your funk on with this one. I want to thank all my Patreon members for helping me keep this channel going and increase the quality and everything. And if you want a comprehensive guide to neo soul guitar, check out the Nasty Soul Guitar Starter ebook. It's a 32-page book with 7 different jam scenarios. We're talking about rhythm parts, lead parts, all of it combined. It's a great overview to just keep around and check it out. So keep jamming and stay nasty.